At my stepmother's burial, a detective whispered, "Your name was changed 25 years ago. Don't let your family see this file." Rain streaked down the headstones at Evergreen Cemetery, just outside Charlotte. Denise Whitaker's casket dropped out of sight into the earth. Camille Whitaker, 33, stood with her black umbrella, watching. She didn't cry. Denise had been her mother, more in name than in feeling, ever since Camille was 8. Honestly, Camille never really knew how to feel about Denise. From the outside, Denise looked like the perfect parent. She gave Camille a nice house, private schools, all the right advantages. But inside their home, affection always had strings attached. Denise controlled everything. What Camille wore, where she went, what she was even allowed to ask. If Camille brought up anything about her early childhood, Denise's jaw would clench. "You were too young to remember anything important," Denise told her time and again. Her father, Raymond Whitaker, stood by the grave, arm around Camille's younger half-sister, Brielle. Raymond was all pressed dark suit, polished shoes, and a carefully constructed mask of grief. Brielle leaned on him, playing the devastated daughter a little too well. Camille kept her distance. 3 months ago, before Denise died, Raymond and Brielle had hounded Camille to sign paperwork about the family's property management company. Something didn't add up. Pages kept changing between meetings, so Camille refused. That set everyone off. Denise called her ungrateful. Raymond called her paranoid. Brielle laughed. "Not everything's a conspiracy, Camille." And now, Denise was gone. Stroke, supposedly. But Camille couldn't shake the feeling Denise had carried one last secret to her grave. After the burial, as folks were heading out, a tall woman in a charcoal coat approached Camille. She looked right past Camille, focused on Raymond. "Camille," the woman said, soft and steady. "Walk with me." Camille hesitated. "Do I know you?" "Detective Monica Hale. Retired." She flipped open a battered police ID. Raymond glanced their way. Hale dropped her voice. "Your name was changed 25 years ago. Don't let your family see this file." She handed Camille a slim folder. Camille gripped it, unsure. "What are you talking about?" "Your name was never Camille Whitaker," the detective said. The cemetery suddenly felt still. Hale kept walking. "You were born Camille Bennett. Your mother was Andrea Bennett." Camille's throat went tight. She had always been told her birth mother was named Alicia, a woman who'd abandoned her family thanks to addiction. Hale pressed on. "Denise wasn't just your stepmother. She was the only remaining witness in an investigation your father thought was buried." Camille stopped. "What investigation?" Hale glanced at Raymond. "Don't react. He's spent 25 years relying on your confusion." Raymond called over. "Camille, is everything all right?" Camille managed a nod. "An old acquaintance of Denise's," she lied, surprised by her own ease. Hale handed over a key stamped with the number 214. Denise opened a safe deposit box under her maiden name. 6 weeks ago, she made you an authorized recipient. Why didn't she just tell me?" "She didn't know who you'd confront first." Hale stepped in close, her voice urgent. "Don't let your father find out about that box. Not until you know everything he took from you." Raymond was making his way over. Hale turned away before he arrived. "Sorry for your loss," she said loudly, so everyone could hear. "Your stepmother helped a lot of people." And then she melted into the crowd. Raymond came up beside Camille. "What did she want?" "She said Denise once donated to a police charity." His eyes flicked to the folder peeking from Camille's coat. "What's that?" "Funeral papers." He softened, but kept watching her close. "Give them to me. I'll take care of it." Camille held tight. "They're addressed to me." For a second, the mask slipped. His grief vanished. Then it was back, perfectly arranged. "Of course. We're gathering at the house. Don't be late." She shook her head. "I need some air." Brielle joined them, rainproof and flawless. "Dad, let her go. Camille has to make everything complicated." Camille didn't answer. She got in her car, locked the doors, and opened the folder. First page, a certified North Carolina birth certificate. Child, Camille Elise Bennett. Mother, Andrea Elise Bennett. Father, Raymond Lewis Whitaker. Next, a court petition. It asked to legally change Camille's name when she was 8. Supposedly, Andrea Bennett had signed off. But underneath was a handwriting analysis, just 2 months old. Conclusion: Andrea's signature was a forgery. Camille flipped faster now. A photograph her as a little girl, standing beside a woman outside a brick building. The woman's eyes matched Camille's own. On the back, Andrea and Camille. Our building. Our future. Last page, a handwritten note from Denise. Camille, your mother did not abandon you. Raymond made sure she couldn't return. I helped him change your name. I helped him take her company. I told myself I was protecting you, but I was really protecting the life he gave me. The evidence is in box 214. Don't trust Raymond. And don't trust Brielle. Camille read that last line again. Her phone rang. Brielle. She silenced it. A text popped up. Dad says you took something from the funeral. Bring it home. Now. Camille stared through the rain at the road that cut away from the cemetery. Her family had kept her in the dark for 25 years. That ended right here, in this locked car, with Denise's confession on her lap. She started her engine. And she didn't go home. She drove straight toward Queen City Community Bank. At the bank, the manager checked Camille's ID 3 times before leading her into the vault. Denise Parker opened this before she married Raymond Whitaker, he said. She updated access 6 weeks ago. Still using her old name, even after death, so typical of Denise. Once left alone with box 214, Camille opened it. 2 flash drives. A fat stack of property records. An envelope marked Andrea. And a small digital recorder. Camille started with the envelope. The letter inside was dated 24 years ago. To whoever finds this. Raymond has taken control of Bennett Urban Development using documents I did not sign. He has told people I am unstable. If anything happens to me, protect Camille. The company and the South End properties belong to her through the trust my father created. Andrea Bennett. Camille's hands stayed steady, but her breathing shifted. She'd spent 15 years as a forensic accountant. She knew how fraud could hide in plain sight. She snapped photos of every page, backed up both flash drives, and left the originals in the box. Her first call wasn't to her father. She called Lauren Ellis, her closest friend and attorney. They met that night in a quiet office outside Huntersville. Lauren read the documents from start to finish, line by line, not saying a word until the end. Finally, she looked up. This isn't just identity theft, she said. Looks like your father used the fake name change to cut you off from the Bennett family trust. How much money was in it? Lauren checked the documents. Originally, about $2 million. Camille sat back and waited. With appreciation and growth? It could be over $18 million now. Camille didn't smile. No amount of money would give those years back. So what happened to my mother? That's still not clear. Camille placed Denise's recorder on the desk and pressed play. Denise's voice. Weak, but familiar. Raymond told Andrea that Camille died in a car accident. Camille's eyes squeezed shut. He told Camille her mother abandoned her. He created 2 graves without burying anyone. A pause, then a cough. Andrea figured out the property transfers. Raymond had a doctor declare her unstable. I signed statements for the emergency commitment. Lauren stopped the recording. Your mother could still be alive. Camille's eyes snapped open. They called Detective Hale. Hale arrived within an hour, carrying a second folder. She had been the first to investigate Andrea's disappearance, years back, but had gotten herself removed after she challenged the commitment records. Andrea was transferred between private facilities, Hale explained. Her trail disappeared. Denise came to me 2 months ago when she learned she was terminally ill. Did you find my mother? Hale slid an address across the table. Andrea Bennett has been living under assisted guardianship near Winston-Salem almost 20 years. Camille stared at the address. Whose guardianship? Hale's answer hit hard. Raymond's. The next morning, Camille drove out with Lauren and a court-appointed advocate. Andrea was 59, quiet, frail, but when she saw Camille, she shot to her feet so fast her chair banged the wall. She reached out and cupped Camille's face. My baby. All that control Camille learned to wear cracked and fell away. Andrea hadn't forgotten. She'd written letter after letter, every birthday, money placed in an account for a daughter she still believed would come home. Raymond had taken that, too. Andrea had managed to stash copies of the original Bennett Trust with a nurse. They proved Camille's rights. She could have called Raymond right then. She didn't. Back in Charlotte, she played the daughter everyone expected. At Denise's will meeting, Raymond chaired the table. Brielle sat beside him, smug and polished in cream. Denise left most assets to Raymond. Brielle got jewelry and a condo. Camille got a wooden box with an old fountain pen. Brielle snickered. Mom always knew who appreciated her. Camille twisted the pen and discovered inside a micro-storage card. She palmed it before anyone saw. Raymond pushed a document across the table. Let's wrap up the company stuff and move on. Sign there, and it's settled. Camille read the signature line. Signing would mean giving up every claim to Whittaker Property Group and anything attached to it. They knew. Not everything, but enough to panic. She placed the pen on the table. I want my attorney to go over this. Brielle leaned in, voice sharp. Seriously, why do you act like everyone's out to steal from you? Camille refused to break eye contact. Maybe because someone is. Silence smothered the room. Raymond forced an understanding smile. You're grieving. Denise's death has us all emotional. Camille stood up. No. Death made someone honest. Raymond gripped the document, knuckles white. She walked out before they gathered themselves. That night, Camille examined the microcard. It held security footage from Denise's study. She watched Brielle step in, 2 days before the stroke, swapping out a bottle in the drawer. The next clip? Brielle whispering to Raymond, she was going to confess. Raymond's answer, then make sure she doesn't get the chance. Camille watched those words again and again. Brielle hadn't just gone along with the lies. She'd helped keep them alive. Camille sent everything, encrypted, to Detective Hale and Lauren. She didn't delete a thing. As far as Raymond and Brielle knew, Camille was still their confused, obedient daughter. That's exactly what she wanted them to think until the truth destroyed that illusion for good. For 11 days, Camille didn't say a word. She showed up at Andrea's side twice. She arranged for an outside doctor to check Andrea over, filed to cut off Raymond's guardianship, and locked down Andrea's remaining accounts, just in time. On another front, Lauren filed a sealed lawsuit, challenging how the Bennett properties were transferred. Detective Hale sent Denise's secret recording and all the home security footage straight to the district attorney. Meanwhile, Camille's team dug through 25 years of Whittaker Property Group transactions. The pattern almost looked clever. Raymond had shuffled Bennett properties into shell companies, borrowed heavily against them, and used all that cash to build the so-called family legacy he bragged about. Brielle had already started unloading various properties, clearing them out before Camille could ask any questions. Turns out, when people feel invincible, they get sloppy. Then came the Whittaker Foundation dinner at one of the fancier hotels uptown. 200 guests in suits and cocktail dresses, business leaders, lawyers, politicians, the works. Raymond was set to announce Brielle as the new CEO. Camille walked in wearing simple black. Raymond found her before appetizers. I'm glad you came, he told her. We've all had enough of this division. She just looked at him. Have we? His smile stopped. Sign the release, Camille. I'll give you $500,000. It's generous. You never did anything for the company. She glanced around at the ballroom, all that shimmer and shine bought with what he'd stolen from her mother. So you're offering me money from property that's rightfully mine? He flushed. Brielle broke up the tension. Dad, the presentation's starting. She shot Camille a look. You should be grateful he's offering anything. Camille almost laughed. That's what Denise used to say. Brielle stiffened. Raymond hurried her toward the stage. After dinner, Raymond stood before the foundation's gold logo, going on about honor, family, and protecting the next generation. He beckoned Brielle to join him. But before she reached the microphone, the tall ballroom doors swung open. Lauren walked in with 2 court officers. Detective Hale followed. And between them, Andrea Bennett. Raymond froze mid-sentence as a tidal wave of whispers filled the room. Camille stood up and crossed the floor. Andrea reached for her. Brielle stared, suddenly unsure, at the woman she'd been told was dead. Raymond gathered himself. This is a private event. Who let you in? Lauren handed him a document. The county court. Whittaker Property Group's assets are frozen, based on evidence the founding properties were stolen from Bennett Urban Development using forged signatures. The board members shot to their feet. Lauren kept going. The court suspended Raymond's guardianship of Andrea Bennett pending investigation for unlawful confinement, financial exploitation, and identity fraud. Raymond rounded on Camille. You have no idea what you're doing. She looked him right in the eyes. For 25 years, that sentence kept me in line. She nodded at the projection screen. The image flickered and changed. Instead of Brielle's promotion, financial records appeared for all to see: shell companies, fake signatures, missing trust money. Dates tied directly to Raymond. Camille had sent the evidence to the independent board members right before the party. Their phones started ringing at once. Raymond backed down from the stage. You think humiliating your family makes you strong? No, Camille told him, calm as ever. Telling the truth makes your humiliation unavoidable. Brielle tried to slip out. Detective Hale stepped in front of her. Brielle Whittaker, detectives want a word about Denise's medical care before she died. Brielle's tough exterior crumbled. She was already sick. Hale just said, you can explain, after we talk about the medication found in her room. Brielle looked desperate. Dad. Raymond said nothing. You could see in Brielle's face when she realized he was already working out how to save himself, not her. You said replacing her pills would just keep her confused, Brielle blurted out. She was halfway through the sentence before she realized what she'd confessed. The room went utterly silent. Raymond closed his eyes then. That was it. Not when the court froze his company. Not when Andrea walked in alive. Not even when his crimes flashed on screen for everyone to see. No, Raymond shattered the moment Brielle sold him out, trying to save herself. Detective Hale led Brielle away. 2 investigators surrounded Raymond. He turned to Andrea. I gave Camille a good life. Andrea's voice was soft. You gave her a comfortable prison. He faced Camille. You called me Dad. She answered, you changed my name, erased my mother, and forced your story on me before I was old enough to question it. Raymond's voice dropped. I raised you. You monitored me. There's a difference. And that was it. Investigators walked Raymond past all those people who'd been clapping minutes ago. His reputation didn't vanish because Camille outshouted him. It vanished because she put the truth out in the open, somewhere he couldn't reach. Over the next months, authorities charged Raymond with fraud, financial exploitation, forgery, obstruction, everything related to Andrea's case. Brielle faced her own charges about Denise's medication. She cut a deal, but it didn't save her future. The foundation wiped her name. The company fired her. Friends stopped answering her texts. Brielle sent Camille a rambling message. I didn't cause this. Dad did. I was just trying to protect all of us. Camille sent one line back. You protected yourself. Now you have to live with what that cost. The court returned the Bennett properties to Andrea's trust. Camille became the rightful beneficiary. She didn't keep Whittaker Property Group, she took it apart. Any properties tied to fraud were returned or sold. Employees whose hands were clean got severance and help landing new jobs. Camille used part of the recovered funds to set up the Andrea Bennett Legal Fund, helping families fight abusive guardianships. And she reclaimed her name, Camille Elise Bennett. The day it became official, she and Andrea visited Denise's grave. Camille left Denise's old fountain pen at the headstone. Denise had helped in the betrayal. Her confession didn't erase that. But it opened the way for honesty. Andrea squeezed her hand. Do you forgive her? She asked. Camille stared at the stone. Forgiving doesn't mean pretending nothing happened. They left together. Camille wasn't happy because her family fell apart. She was finally free because their lies didn't define her anymore. Raymond stole her name, her inheritance, and 25 years with her mother. But his mistake was thinking the little girl he'd silenced would never find her way out of the dark. She didn't take him down with fury. She gave him something that lasts a lot longer, the fallout from his own choices. Raymond really believed changing Camille's name would cover up everything. Brielle thought protecting the family fortune was what mattered. But each forged signature, every stolen year, every ruthless decision left its mark. Camille just followed the trail. So what would you have done in Camille's shoes? Would you have put your family's secrets on blast, or handled things quietly in court? Drop your answer in the comments. And let us know where you're watching from. It's always amazing to see how far these stories travel. Thanks for sticking with us. Don't forget to subscribe to Revenge and Redemption Tales, where betrayal demands a price, regret always comes around, and every choice leaves a trace.